Welcome to Young Achievers Show with me, Mike Keller. If you haven't watched any of our episodes, don't forget to go to YouTube on Ghana News Guide. We have another young achiever with us here today. She is an award-winning doctor, an international speaker, the CEO and founder of AKAYA, and a founding member of Melanin Medic. She's none other than Dr. Khadija Owusu. Dr. Khadija, it's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Seriously, I have been dying to meet you. So how are you seeing Ghana? How are you seeing Ghana?
It's been a lot.
Oh, wow.
I think I've been here for about 2 weeks now. I was also recently here in the October-November period. But yeah, it's been hectic for us.
I can see from your face that you're tired. Oh, can you tell us more, like, we know you're an international speaker, this and this. Who is Dr. Khadija in your own words?
I mean, I guess similar to what I mentioned earlier, I mean, I'm just a small girl in my corner. Just trying to do my best to help people in the world. I believe that's what my purpose is in life. So in any way, shape or form, whatever I can do that will help impact lives and help people, that's where you'll find me. So that's through my career as a doctor, through speaking life into others as a speaker, but also through the work that I do with my charities, AKAYA and Melanin Medics.
You're doing very well with it.
Thank you.
What inspired you to go into medicine and leadership?
Yeah. So in terms of medicine, I have a younger brother, so the one after me has sickle cell anemia. And sickle cell, as you know, is a hereditary blood disorder that affects a lot of our population, African and Caribbeans. And growing up, because of the complications that result from having sickle cell, individuals who do have that diagnosis encounter a lot of challenges, and you have to be frequently in contact with hospitals. So growing up, I was in the hospital seeing how doctors and medical staff were really looking after my brother, ourselves as a family, and I just really thought that, this is something that I want to do for other people. That's the kind of impact that I want to have on their lives. So that really, I guess, inspired the journey into medicine. Then progressing through school, realizing that, okay, yes, I'm a science girl, I love my maths as well, I love communicating, I love speaking up for others. That's what really solidified that medicine or becoming a doctor is the key role for me.
Wow, that's really, really good. Were there any challenges you faced as a Black and African woman in medicine in the UK?
Yes, I think, especially at the time where I was trying to get into medical school, coming from a lower socioeconomic home, whereby there are some particular areas within London whereby, some of the statistics don't really match up, or they aren't necessarily well for individuals who are of Black descent or African and Caribbean descent. So at the time, representation was really lacking. You wouldn't really necessarily see Black individuals as doctors, let alone Black women as doctors. Maybe just a few, but it's not front-facing to the extent where it's like I have somebody that I look up to, nor do I have somebody in family to be like, okay, this person, my uncle or my auntie is a doctor, so I can just, piggyback off getting some mentorship from there. It's quite difficult for a lot of individuals. So in a way, you have to try and navigate or find that path for yourself. So I eventually managed to secure a full scholarship to a sixth form to do my A-levels, and it was within that private institution where I received a lot of support in terms of getting into medical school, which other individuals who just go to normal government schools don't necessarily receive that support. So that really sparked something in mind whereby it's like there are so many individuals who are bright and capable just like me, but don't necessarily have that opportunity to get a scholarship to study at a private school to help them get into medical school. So that's when Melanin Medics, the idea of wanting to help individuals like me get the help, the mentorship to get into medical school, really, I guess, initiated that spark until, the opportunity of Melanin Medics itself came when I was in medical school. So a lack of representation, there's not many Black individuals who are doctors. It's changing now since, we've been in operation. We're seeing a lot more, but we can do much better. And then getting the support from, some teachers. I hear stories all the time of students saying they want to study medicine, but the teachers are not supportive of that. Why? Because they think, okay, maybe medicine is too much for them. but they are bright and capable of doing so. So why are you stopping them? So there are a lot of barriers in place, but representation and having somebody to help you along the way is quite difficult.
Yeah. I also watched your TEDx speech. It was quite nice. You spoke on presentation is medicine that saves lives.
Yeah.
And can you explain or give more information on that?
So the title of my talk, as you mentioned, is Representation Creates Medicine That Saves Lives, because a lot of healthcare within the UK, within the US, there are a lot of health inequalities that exist. If you are an individual of Black descent, some conditions you are more, I guess, exposed to, or you are more likely to experience. Black women are almost 4 times more likely to die from childbirth compared to white women. When COVID-19 came, Black individuals were more likely to die from COVID-19 compared to white individuals. When it comes to individuals who are Black experiencing pain, their pain is more likely to not be taken seriously because they think, oh, maybe this person is on drugs and faking it, and so therefore they don't necessarily want to give the pain. When it comes to the management of sickle cell or conditions that affect ethnic minorities, the treatment is not as the same as treating conditions that are much more common or much more affecting white individuals. So there is a lot of disparities in place. And why I put the statement of representation creates medicine that saves lives is because when you have individuals of Black descent within these professions advocating for our people, we are able to put these issues to a forefront and actually fight for us to be treated much more better. It shouldn't be the case that maybe just because you're Black and you're a mother and you're coming to give birth to your child, you're more likely to die. For what reason? We need to be able to listen to the needs of our people and give them the care that they rightfully deserve. So that is the whole essence of the TED Talk.
How was it being on TED Talk as a national speaker? TED Talk.
Crazy, because I remember that time, it was 2022, I want to say, just over 2 years ago. That time period was crazy for me because I had just been told that I would be given the opportunity to give a TED Talk. Then I remember shortly after I had a trip to Ghana where we were doing some school projects. But at this time, AKAYA wasn't born yet. It was the trigger for it to be born. So we were doing some school projects with about 400 girls in total. Right from coming back from Ghana, I think a few days later, I had to go to the US to speak at a girls' leadership summit. And within that time, I'm supposed to be writing my speech. And I had no idea what I was going to say at all. I remember doing my first draft and sharing it with my, so they give you like mentors. I shared it with them and they were like, yeah, Khadija, this is not a TED Talk. What is this like? I was like, I tried. And they were asking me like really deep questions to get me thinking about what message is it that I want to, or what message do I want to share with the world, I guess. So I remember in my hotel room in the US, like just taking some time to deeply reflect. And then I redrafted my speech. And when I read it out to them, they were crying. And I was like, so this is what you want. You want a TED Talk that will make people cry. Clearly, to really tug on the emotion and make people understand that there are real issues going on. So I did that, then obviously had the talk, then came back to the UK, and you have to memorize your talk. I can't remember how long it was, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Memorizing, then rehearsals, then you have to do it on a big day, and it's crazy. But thank God it went well. And yeah, it's been amazing so far.
But you were really a natural. I was like, you used a few minutes to memorize it and you stood there and just said it. I didn't know you had to go through all this.
It was a very challenging period.
The message was really touching. Especially the one with the guy called Smith who died because of complications with sickle cell.
Exactly.
That was really a sad one. Yeah, and tell us about meeting your best friend and your best friend and the former First Lady of America, Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Tell me, how was it?
My bestie in my head. So I was, I want to say like 11, 12 years old. And I was in secondary school, probably my first year. And I was a part of the choir at that time, and they had told us that, oh, we have a special guest coming, we're going to do a performance and stuff. So in my head, I was thinking, oh, you know, sometimes you have like local superstars who used to go to the school and they're so obsessed about, I'm like, okay, relax. But on the day, like our school is like boarded up, so people can't really see in. There's a lot of security around. I'm like, our school's not special. Just one school in North London somewhere. Like, it used to have a bad reputation. Now it's sort of changing. What do we want here? So now they direct us to the stage, and then the program starts, and she walks on stage. And this is the time when they recently became elected. So it's like, this is a huge moment, especially for individuals who are black. Like, they've just been recently elected. Now she's walking on stage at my school. I'm like, wow. We did the performance. She gave a phenomenal speech. And then I think 4 years later, she had requested for some girls to come to Washington, D.C. For about a week, all expense paid, engage with her and amazing, inspiring women in the U.S. within the political space, and also attend a state dinner that they were having with Barack Obama. So I got to meet Barack Obama as well.
Wow.
He shook my hand. But yeah, it was such an amazing experience. Then years later, obviously, I graduated from secondary school, you know, got into medical school, and I've still kept in touch with my secondary school to this day, because it's like it holds a special place in my heart. So I think, you know, Michelle has been back to the school here and there when she tries to keep that contact. Then she was supposed to come for her book tour when she released Becoming, but COVID. So we had to then do like a virtual interview with the book publishers. Then I want to say last April, she sent a letter. I go home and then I'm seeing a letter, something about office of, what did it say, Michelle Barack Obama, something on the envelope. I opened it and she wrote a letter, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, that's my story with her.
That's a good story. Meeting her, how has it impacted your life and your work in general?
I would say it's definitely had a huge impact. When individuals ask me questions about, you know, role models and, you know, how to find a mentor, whatever, I always say that it's good to have about role models in general, have to at least one within your close proximity, or somebody that you look up to within your close proximity that you can actually like physically go ahead and touch, have a conversation with, and then an inspiring woman that you see in the media or in any sort of space. For me, that's Michelle Obama. But then again, it's not everybody that gets blessed to have the opportunity to actually physically meet and engage with somebody that they really look up to in the limelight. So I really thank God for those opportunities. But definitely inspired me in so many ways in terms of just her as a woman, what she's been able to achieve on her own, but also in partnership with her husband, and also currently now she's shining. So it's been really, really inspiring to see, and she's had a huge impact from, you know, the get-go when I met her, and I'm now seeing the after effects of that, because then I was so young, I wasn't comprehending. But yeah, it's amazing.
Speaking about women, I want you to tell us about your mom. You said that your mom is a hardworking woman, someone you value a lot because of she single-handedly take care of you and your siblings. Yeah. Tell us about your mom. Yeah.
So I guess a lot of us can resonate in terms of our mothers being a key sort of pillar stone within our homes. And being a single mother, looking after us, raising 3 kids, one of whom also has sickle cell, which adds a bit of difficulty on top. Then also knowing that you have to work in order to make sure you put food on the table, in terms of looking after your kids and all of those things. So growing up and seeing that within my environment, it just, I guess, really made me understand or develop those skills of being so hardworking, being so disciplined, which I am, I guess, exuding or exhibiting currently in the work that I do. So she's been very, very crucial.
Wherever she is, tell her God bless her for me. Yeah, and that brings us to AKAYA.
AKAYA. My child.
Yes. What about AKAYA?
AKAYA. Where do I begin with AKAYA, even though we're so young? So right when I finished my final exams at medical school, I decided, like, you know, by fire, by force, I have to come back to Ghana, because it had been like almost 10 years since I had it. You know, we used to come as kids, but mom was like, no, if you want to go to Ghana, finish university first. Okay, fine. So I finished my exams. Then usually when you finish medical school, you're supposed to go anywhere in the world, experience medicine, experience what it's like to be a doctor in a different setting compared to what you're used to, just to get that bit of experience. I was like, I'm actually just going to come back to Ghana. So I did a small attachment at Nyaho Medical Center, which was amazing. The doctors were so phenomenal. I'm still in touch with them to this day. And then after that, I was like, I really want to do something with girls here whilst I'm here in Ghana. And one of my good friends, like a sister to me, her name's Candy Bell. She had been following me on Instagram prior to me even coming back, and she saw a TV interview that I did on racism in medicine and representation stuff, and she messaged me to say, oh, like, she just watched this interview, she's so inspired. And I stalked her. She does a lot of work in terms of, what do you call it, going into schools and volunteering, and why not reach out to her so she helps me, you know, do something with girls in the school. So that's when we did our first session at the Achimota school, about 100 girls, and it was amazing. Like, this was the first time doing anything like that in that setting. And I remember, like, even 48 hours before the session, I didn't know what I was going to tell the girls.
Wow.
At all. Quickly curated a session, and then got some donation items, all out of, you know, my personal finances, because this is something that I wanted to try a pilot. And it went amazingly well.
Wow.
So I came back to Ghana the following year after starting work officially as a doctor in the UK. And in 2022, that's when we did another 400 girls plus. And it was from that trip where I was like, okay, we have something here. Let me be serious about it. So it was like a period of 6 months from July till December. Okay, what is the mission? What is the vision here? What are we trying to achieve with this organization? And then obviously coming up with a name was another headache, because I said it has to be of a Ghanaian origin. The work that we will do will cross Ghana. It will be international, but we need to know that Ghana is the start. So eventually came up with AKAYA, combination of Akuma and Aya Adinkra symbols. Then it was a whole process of registration. So we are both UK and Ghana registered, which really helps in terms of broadening our relationships and partnerships, being able to access more resources to maximize the work that we do. And then it came to the process of, okay, well, what does AKAYA look like? What is our visual identity going to be? And thanks to our phenomenal partners at Lime and Honey, visual identity was created, and then we launched officially in March 2023 at the British Council here in Accra, an amazing event, launch event that we had. And yeah, it's been a crazy journey since.
That's really great to hear.
Yes. So AKAYA, you are the founder and CEO of AKAYA.
Apparently I am.
Tell us about AKAYA. How did AKAYA come into being?
So, where do I even begin? So I started doing my first sort of adult solo trips to Ghana from 2021. And right from those trips, we had started to pilot some of our programs with the girls in the high schools. And it was from doing around about 500 girls within, you know, the 2-year period, where I was like, okay, we have something here that is very serious that we can grow to actually become something very important and beneficial for young girls all around, especially in the continent of Africa. So following on from 2022 in the summer period, where we just wrapped up doing about 400 girls, we went back to the drawing board, and I basically had to think about, okay, what is the mission? What is the vision? What am I trying to do here? What am I trying to grow? What am I trying to build in order to benefit young girls? And that is where AKAYA came to be. And AKAYA is a combination of two Adinkra symbols, Akuma and Aya, together, both having a strong meaning in relation to, you know, a girl, a woman. Akuma is heart, love. Women exude a lot of love, and the heart in general being a key organ within our body relating to medicine and obviously being a doctor as well. Then Aya is endurance and resourcefulness. Women in general, majority go through a lot of things, but they still are able to overcome and come out on top. So that is the essence of what we do at AKAYA. And within the time period of building, we then successfully launched in March 2023 at the British Council in Accra. And since then, it's just been up. We turn 2 years old next March.
Wow.
And what we've been able to achieve within this short time frame has been amazing. Sometimes it scares me. Our growth has been insane, but it just makes me more excited for where we'll go for the next year and the following years, as well as we continue to expand and do more amazing work.
And what challenge do you face in running this non-profit organization?
This question. Do you have like 1 week for me to give you an answer?
Only I could.
So, number one, I don't live in Ghana. I live in the UK. I work as a doctor in the UK. And so being able to manage running an organization from afar comes with a lot of challenges. You are not always there on ground for things to happen, or for you to take the lead on doing certain things, or for you to be present when activities are happening. So that's number one. Another thing also is, which I always say to a lot of people that reach out to me in terms of, how do you do it? I want to do something similar, or, I really want to get involved in stuff like that. I always say charity can come in two ways. It's either you're an individual that would love to give back, but probably for that momentarily or short time period, you feel you have some resources you want to give back. Absolutely fine. Then there's also charity in terms of running essentially a business, which is what AKAYA is. It's a not-for-profit business that we are running. So there are also rules and regulations that you have to abide by, especially being both UK and Ghana registered. We are trying to meet the laws of both countries. So it comes with a lot of extra work there as well. So I'm also used to how things work in the UK. If I send an email, communication is much more quicker. Whereas here, I don't know why, but some places are still requesting you directly deliver letters.
Wow.
When email exists, you send email, you're going to wait 100 years for a reply. There are, ways, if you want to get something done, it will take so long for something so simple to be done. And then you also think, the work we are doing is so important. So therefore, it should be a no-brainer to meet maybe our requirements, or to perhaps put your stamp of approval. And that's common when it comes to, more public institutions that we try and work with in order to maximize our impact. So those are a few challenges. Another thing I would say is timing, which I guess everybody talks about in Ghana. Time doesn't exist here. Oh God, it's such a struggle. And then what else? I always say this, I'm blessed with amazing team members. But when it comes to now us working with individuals who are external to us, and there is a lack of sense of time, a lack of proactivity, it really hinders your progress. So that's another challenge that we sometimes experience as well.
Still on AKAYA, what are some of the stories you have recorded and you're so happy about?
I've lost count. Lost count. I mean, to date, we need to do the numbers for 2024, but I think in general, since launching, we probably crossed 5,000 girls that we've reached through all our programs, activities, events, workshops with the high schools, everything. And the feedback is always so positive. It's always so amazing hearing the girls share, their experiences. When it comes to our programs, because we have these students with us for so long, they literally become like family, and there is no room for them to leave. They always want to stay and continue to support the work that we do. One of our major programs, the AKAYA initiative, which is our mental health program, that's for about 7 to 9 months that we had this year for the first time, proudly sponsored by the KGL Foundation. We had 25 ladies, different universities across Ghana, but having significant challenges that they've experienced. So mental health difficulties, previous suicidal attempts, gender-based violence, so having sexual abuse from a very young age, which is obviously affecting them presently, as well as escaping early marriage, teenage pregnancy. These young ladies, currently university students, we had them on board for this 8-month period on a hybrid program whereby we gave them mental health support, leadership support. We then split them into groups. You got funding to implement your own community projects, because put yourself in their shoes. You're a young woman, you've had this in your life, you're trying to maybe do better for yourself, study at university. Would you even consider yourself as a leader? Would you even consider yourself being able to go back to your community to impact? No, but through this program, we've given you that chance to actually do so. So 25 young ladies had the chance to impact 500 lives through the work that they did, and graduated from the program in October. That day I cried. They made me cry, because the growth, seeing them in April, so shy, quiet, to how they were this October, shining in their own light, even becoming annoying, and like, I'm like, this wasn't you like a couple months ago.
They got a Khadija.
So it's been so amazing. Like, the success stories are constantly coming through, and it's why we do the work that we do, and it fuels us to do more.
So you wear all these hats. You were a speaker, you were a doctor, you were a founder. How do you do all this without
I don't
out?
know. Before I would give you a beautiful speech about balance, and now I don't know. The answer is I don't know. It's only God. Wow. Because it is so difficult. And you know, when people ask me this, I'm like, now imagine. So I have a lot of women that I speak to, work with, or that we engage with to help support our young ladies. So our girls, you know, program beneficiaries receive support from amazing women, not even just women, but also men from around the world who pour into them through our programs, virtually especially. And some of them are doing incredible things, and they are mothers, they are wives. I'm like, I've not reached that stage yet, and I want to pull my hair out. So imagine if I add being a wife and a mother on top. Exactly. So it's doable, it's possible. Key thing is prioritization. Things, you know, as your day goes by, things will become urgent. Whatever is urgent, you need to meet that need. But also, what I always say is, as much as you chase or you try and meet the urgent needs, you also have to remember that you still need to do some of the things that may not be necessarily urgent, but also the key thing is they provide you with a bit of happiness. So balance urgency with things that you love to do, and you'll be okay. So right now, my time here in Ghana, AKAYA stuff is very urgent, but I'm still managing to find time to go out some more.
It's needed.
Dance more, move my body small, and
It's needed.
come back to work. So yeah.
So what will you tell girls who said, oh, I want to be like Dr. Khadija. Oh, I want to be like, she's very outspoken, she's a doctor. What do you tell them?
Yeah, you don't be like me.
Wow.
You don't need to be like me. You need to just aim to be the best version of yourself, because we're all unique. I still have my flaws. I'm very impatient. I'm working on it, especially working within Ghana, knowing how things are extremely slow here. I'm working on it. I have my weaknesses as well. And knowing that individuals, we are all uniquely special. We all have something that is unique and special about ourselves. Harness that, use that as a way to then obviously discover yourself, discover what your purpose, your passions are, and be the best version of yourself. And whilst you're doing that, just be kind and nice to people. You will go a long way.
Yeah, just be kind and nice people. and that's really who you are, actually. So, what one thing you want to remember for posterity?
There is this quote. It's gone out of my mind. But, okay, I'm going to paraphrase it. But essentially, your legacy is left through the lives you have touched, as opposed to a lot of the materialistic things that we are constantly chasing in this life. And for me, I'm so big on making sure that we do the best that we can, touch as many lives as possible, so that they can also continue that ripple effect to affect others. I mean, we all know this popular saying, you know, if you educate a man, you educate one person. If you educate a woman, you're educating her whole nation. Her community becomes empowered. So that ripple effect, including sustainability, making sure that more and more girls feel empowered, own their voice, be confident, do whatever they want to do, go for whatever they want to achieve, despite the barriers that are in place as a result of gender inequality. That is just the legacy that, you know, we want to leave. So yeah.
What one word you want to tell our audience that One word. Maybe you can summarize it, maybe 2 words.
Yeah, 2 words. Yeah. Whenever I'm asked what advice would I give to young people or anyone, my 2 words is keep going. Literally, it's every day comes with something. I was telling you, every day here will come with its own battles to fight, but everything will work out, which is, I think, a key mantra for me this year, especially 2024. Everything will eventually work out. So I guess it gives you a bit of peace in the back of your mind, knowing that some way, somehow, this thing will sort itself out. As much as it's driving me crazy right now, if I keep going, it will eventually be okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take care of yourself physically and mentally. And yeah, everything will be okay.
Say it again, everything will be okay. Once you say it again for the last time.
Everything will be okay.
Oh, yeah. It was great having you.
Thank you so much.
Having you. Yeah, if people want to reach out to you and maybe donate to AKAYA.
Yes.
And how do they do so?
Absolutely. So we are very active on social media. Okay. Our website is www.akayafoundation.com. We have a donation button on the screen if you want to donate that way. But also, if you reach out to us, it's at AKAYA Foundation on Instagram, Twitter, same on LinkedIn as well. Send us a message. We are quick to respond and we're happy to help. For me personally, it's at Khadija Owusu on all social media platforms.
Before you go, please tell us your Ghanaian favorite food.
Oh, fufu and lights.
Fufu and lights.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome. Oh God, fufu wins the war of all foods.
Honestly, but after fufu, I would say kinky. But I haven't had kinky since I've been here.
Kinky, still fufu is the man.
Yeah, definitely.
It was great having you.
Thank you so much.
I wish you all the best and greater heights for you, Dr. Khadija. And I said I will be a mentee. You come and join and feel the Khadija. So this has been another episode of Young Achievers Show. If you want your story to be heard as a young achiever or want to partner as a sponsor of the show, you can send your details to info@GhanaNewsGuide.com. Keep following us on all socials on Ghana News Guide and on www.GhanaNewsGuide.com. See you another time. Bye-bye.